When I became an attorney, I chose to stay here because my friends and neighbors needed a lawyer they can count on. I believe that if you're hurt on the job, you shouldn't have to go it alone, especially if your employer or the insurance company tries to bully you. You can count on me to get you the workers' compensation benefits that you deserve. Even if it gets rough, I'm not going anywhere. I'll stand my ground right here where I've always been. I'm Larry Kelly, and I'm a Newcastle guy.
2 and 1. Back with you here on Gridiron, boys and girls, children of all ages, cowboys, cowgirls, everybody out there. We are ready to talk some gridiron, and we're going to tell you about the 5 teams that competed in the playoffs last week that had their seasons cut short. We'll go in alphabetical order. First off, Laurel finishes the season 11 and 1. The Spartans won their completed the season, regular season, but that is undefeated for the first time in 44 years. So what a great season by the Spartans, coached by Brian Cooper. They lose 6-0 at home to Sarah Catholic. Larry Kelly, your thoughts on Laurel Spartans?
Bitter defeat. That one has to hurt. I didn't see the game, but I read the article that you guys put up in the Newcastle News. You know, they had the ball deep in the red zone 3, maybe 4 times and came away with no points. You just can't do that. And, a valiant effort. Sarah Catholic is a really good football team. And, but I'm sure that Laurel had, it's beautiful that they went undefeated in the regular season, but I'm sure their vision was a Whitfield championship. And it just goes to show you how difficult it is to win a Whitfield championship in any sport. Ronnie, it's difficult. And not only is it difficult, you got to be good, but you got to have a little luck. You got to have a few breaks go your way. Things have to fall your way. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't there a touchdown called back in that game? If that call isn't made, that game could be completely different. And when I look back, I've been very fortunate, really blessed as a coach to be involved in Newcastle basketball, 6 Whitfield championships, Shenango baseball, we win a Whitfield championship. Every one of those championships, I can look back and think of a play or think of a call that could have went the other way, that went our way. And in the end of the day, that sometimes is the difference between winning and losing. Great season for the Laurel Spartans. Bitter pill to swallow. But they had a couple guys that were just tremendous. Luke McCoy, Kobe DeRosa. Those guys were fabulous this year. And at the end of the day, you don't remember the final result. It's the journey that 10, 15 years from now, those young men will remember when they're sitting around one day having a beer. And so I congratulate them on a fabulous season. I know it didn't end the way they wanted it to, but they had a great year.
Yeah. I saw a couple places. I'm not sure if it was social media only or at the end of stories were in the comment sections. Everybody weighs in. Everybody's got an opinion. I saw one post just had the words field goals ? And I'm not sure if they meant, were they questioning if Sarah Catholic literally kicked 2 field goals or should Laurel have kicked field goals? An incomplete sentence like that doesn't say anything. But a lot of people, they weigh in. They got opinions. They have concerns, and good for them. They have opinions. But you know what? We're all armchair quarterbacks, Larry, and I wrote a column in today's paper, and we all do it. We both watch football just like anybody else. What would you do in that situation? You put yourself in a coach's shoes, and the more you think about it, at least for me, I'm sitting there thinking, Brian Cooper has coached this team all season. He knows what they have. He's been there through camp and all the games. He knows their stats. He knows what the line can do. He believes in those kids. He believed in that line opening holes for them to get 3 yards and 6 points. And that's why he went for it. And he also, in the back of his mind, said, and if that doesn't work, I believe in my defense to get a 3 and out and get the ball. We go right back down the field and put ourselves in that position. And they did just that. You can't fault Brian Cooper for the decisions that he made.
No, listen. He knows his team. He knows what they're capable of doing. And when I've been in those situations, I play to win. I play to win.
Mm-hmm.
In the last inning of the state championship game, I had guys still in second base. And it didn't work out. My guy got picked off. But if I had to do it all over again, I'd have done it again. I play to win. I don't play for ties. I'm not afraid to lose. The reason Brian Cooper and his team was in that position is that they played to win all year, and he was playing to win. I can't be critical of that. He believes in his guys. He believes in his team, and it just didn't work out this time. Yeah. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes that just happens.
This will tell you what type of team Laurel had this year. Heart of a champion. Kobe DeRosa, I don't believe he had any completions going into the fourth quarter. And if he did, it was a very small amount. He might not have had any completions going into that final drive. And here it is. They're 1st and 10 on maybe their own 7-yard line. They got to go 93 yards. A field goal does them no good. They've got to go all the way to the end zone, and that'll tie the game. And then the extra point would win the game for them. Again, very minimal amount of completions, if any. And he leads them right down the field, makes some great throws. Luke McCoy caught a great pass. They went right down the field as if, as if it was nothing. And they put themselves right in position to win that game. It shows you what type of a heart that team had. Shame that they lost. That would have been great to see them pay it off and get the win.
It does. It's a bitter pill to swallow. Mm-hmm. But when they look back on this season, next week, next month, next year, or 10 years from now, they'll look back on this year with sober satisfaction because they had a great year.
Sure. And so Luke McCoy and Kobe DeRosa both graduate. They're among their seniors that are graduating. McCoy rushed for over 4,000 yards in his career. That's impressive. The numbers that I had was a few yards short of 4,000. And for kicks, I wanted to see what we had, our rushing attempts and our yardage for Luke McCoy. And again, we were a little short of 4,000. The school has a little over 4,000 regardless. The point is his rushing average, Luke McCoy, for 4 years, he averaged 9.5 yards a carry. We were gaga over 12 yards for 1 year. This kid's averaging almost a first down every time he rushed for 4 seasons.
Yeah, and maybe that's why Coach Graham went for it 4th and 2 because
or Coach Cooper.
Coach Cooper. I'm sorry. Yeah, Coach Graham's at Shenango. Maybe that's why Coach Cooper went for it 4th and 2 because he has Kobe DeRosa and Luke McCoy in the backfield and a great offensive line. So, I don't blame Coach Cooper. He's playing to win. He's got great players with big hearts. I would have done the same thing.
Absolutely. Okay, moving on. Mohawk finishes the year 6-6. They lost to Stowe Rocks in the Class 2A playoffs, WPIL, 62-14. And Larry, I guess we'll tie in Mohawk and Laurel here a little bit. I'm going to tell you, you have a choice here. Which feels worse? When you wake up Saturday morning and you wake up and you look outside and say, we lost 62-14. Or you wake up and you look outside and we lost 6-0. Which hurts the most from a coach? The fact that you got beat and bad, or you were in it and this play could have went this way or that play could have went that way. Which is worse?
Losing 6-0 is worse because as a coach you second guess yourself. There's so many different play calls offensively and defensively that you second guess yourself. Been there myself, been there, done that. You never like to get beat 62-14, but you could sleep a little better after that happens, knowing that the other team was just better and there was really nothing you could have done to make a difference in the outcome. But when you lose 6-0, you don't sleep very well because as a coach, you start questioning yourself and asking yourself, did I put my players in the best position for them to win. And I've been there. I've been there. When you win, you really don't think about it too much. But when you lose, you start thinking, could I have done something differently?
Yeah, that's an absolute number one case, Larry. You go to the fridge and you grab a water, and you're asking water to do vodka's job. Just so you know. J.C. Voss, senior quarterback from Mohawk, he threw for 1,551 yards this year, 16 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He was a prolific passer in Lawrence County, passed for the most yardage, the most touchdowns, and he's a key reason, him and Mark Conti and Wilkins, their place kicker, why they were in games and winning games and in the playoffs.
They had a great year, and J.C. Voss had an exceptional year. Throwing for 1,500 yards in a high school season is a special accomplishment.
Sure. Alphabetically, we are at Newcastle. We've had the Red Hurricane report. We will quickly touch on this. 7-5 for the Canes, a 45-20 loss to Bell Vernon. Chris Hood and Mike Wells will both be graduating. They're both seniors. Hood went over 1,000 yards in rushing and passing. Again, Larry, if you feel that there's anything you left out of Red Hurricane report, my friend, by all means, go for it.
No, listen, they competed in a game where, truth be told, they were outmanned. They're playing the best team in the Whippeal on their home turf. Senior leadership, guys like Chris Hood, Mike Wells, Mateo Savage. That's important in games like that. Those are 3 quality young men. I had the opportunity to coach all 3 of them. They're great young men. And if you're asking Larry Kelly, they had a great career, and they're going to do great things moving forward. More importantly, it's not about the wins and losses. I'm a John Wooden disciple, and John Wooden said a coach's responsibility is not only to make better players, but to make better people. And these are 3 quality young men who have been coached up, and they're going to do great things moving forward.
Okay. Here's the school that I'm really high on for next year, and that's Shenango, 4-7 overall this year. They lost to Bishop Canavan in the 1A playoffs, 42-14. They will have returning running back CJ Miller and Hunter Lively. They will both be back as they're both juniors this year, as well as quarterback Sam Patton, who was just a freshman, cutting his teeth this year, getting playing time, valuable playing time, playing in the playoffs, 2 playoff games. Miller led the team in rushing with 1,009 rushing yards and on 192 carries, Larry. There you go. A plug for Shenango. There you go. Feed off.
Well, the 3 guys that you just mentioned, they're special athletes. Hunter Lively plays baseball for me. That cat can play, man. He's one of those kids, the bigger the moment, the better he gets. What Shenango's losing, though, is a really good, a bunch of good players on the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And, they'll miss those guys. And Dalton Peters is graduating.
Jason,
they're going to miss those. They're going to miss those guys. They were a big part of that team. However, bringing back a quarterback with experience and a couple running backs with the skill and talent of Miller and Lively gives you a pretty good chance of being really good next year.
Is Jason Dominic back too? He's or is he graduating? He's a really good offensive lineman also for them.
I don't know that. But they had a good offensive line this year. Those guys were underrated, and they did a good job.
Yep, absolutely. You are 100% correct on that. Wilmington in District 10 finished 7-3 this year. And as we know, this is our final Gridiron Show. And when's the last time that we finished before Thanksgiving? Well, probably 5 years ago, because Wilmington has won 5 District 10 titles in a row. They lost to Farrell in the D10 Class 2A championship, 48-6 on Friday night.
Farrell, at least in my view, is the best football team in the state. The running back, is it Stallworth? Yeah, I think he ran for 5,000 yards in his career. And the one thing that happened that couldn't happen in that game for Wilmington to stay in it is, they allowed this young man to go on long touchdown jaunts. I mean, they didn't have to work the ball down the field. I think he had a couple touchdown runs over 60 yards. And that's just, he's a special football player, and probably the fastest guy on the field, no substitute for speed in Wilmington, just couldn't match up with that. And I was surprised that the score was so one-sided. But then when I read the game account and saw that this young man broke 2 or 3 really, really long touchdown runs, kind of was the explanation for me.
Yeah, and Wilmington only had about 40 some odd total yards, which is very rare for the Greyhounds. Luke Edwards finishes the season leading the team in rushing with 1,074. They will have Tuff McConaughey back next year, their starting quarterback, so that's where they'll build around. Luke Edwards will be gone to graduation. Larry, do you expect to see Wilmington right back in this same spot in the district title game, or is this kind of where it gradually falls off for them?
The answer to that question is yes. They have developed a culture and a culture of winning, and that's the most difficult thing to do in any program. And these kids believe, they're well coached, they'll work hard all off season. They'll have some great offensive linemen, as they always do, opening holes. Wilmington will be back next year.
By my count, these 5 teams, these 5 schools, put forth a record of 35-22. So very, very strong seasons by all 5 of these schools. Obviously, Neshannock was in the playoffs as well. They were eliminated the week before against Sarah Catholic. And congratulations to Neshannock. Mason Manos is one of the finalists. He's the finalist in Class 2A for the Bill Freilich Memorial Offensive Lineman Award, the Interior Lineman Award. They give they have one honoree for each classification, and he is the Class 2A recipient. So he's one of 6 guys, obviously one per classification. They only pick one. They only pick one winner. So he's got a 1 in 6 shot. I talked to Fred Mazzacco a little while ago. So we wish Mason Manos the very best of luck regarding that award.
That's impressive, the fact that he's 1 of 6.
Yeah, and stands above the rest in 2A. He's the 2A finalist certainly. Larry, 6 teams made the playoffs this year. I think that might be a first for the county. Do we get at least 6 next year, or 5? Let's go 5. Let's start with 5.
Well, Western Pennsylvania, and in particular Lawrence County, has pedigree, has football pedigree. So it would not surprise me if there's 5 teams in the playoffs next year. It's serious business in Lawrence County. It's important to the players. The coaches dedicate themselves and their staffs to the players. The hours that they spend during the season and in the off season is enormous. These guys, if you broke down their pay per hour, are getting about 5 cents an hour. But they do it for the love of the game, for the love of the players, for the love of the school, and that will always be the case in Lawrence County. And so therefore, the Lawrence County teams will always have a measure of success that is really beyond the pale. In other words, it's really a measure of success that not all counties get to experience.
Sure. Okay. Well, Larry, you've done a great job this year. Your football knowledge is coming through. Congratulations.
Well, listen, I appreciate that, Ronnie, coming from you. But as I've said all along, this stuff isn't rocket science. You understand? If I got good offensive linemen that open holes, I can run the ball. If I don't turn it over, if I don't create crazy, silly penalties, I'm going to win more games than I'm going to lose. So if I can figure it out, just think how easy it is for the coaches who really know a little bit about football to figure it out. And again, that's why our Lawrence County teams have been so successful, because we have great coaches in the county.
I'm taking my pen and crossing off the box. There it is. There's a check mark in the box. And that check mark is, did Larry Kelly say that anybody runs the ball like Tony Dorsett? It's the check mark is in the no box. Wow. You went through the whole year, Larry, without saying somebody runs the ball like Tony Dorsett.
Maybe I didn't watch enough football this year, but I saw the Hawk, Tony Dorsett, play in high school. There's never been anybody like him. Now, just because you run the ball like Tony Dorsett doesn't mean that you are Tony Dorsett. There was only one of him, but it's just a metaphor. You're a journalism major, right? Aren't we supposed to use metaphors when describing the action? I like to use metaphors. He runs the ball like Tony Dorsett, merely a metaphor.
Okay. All right. Larry, again, congratulations, for your football expertise. Thank you for joining us here. And I'd like to take a moment to thank everybody out there for watching us, for tuning in each week and enjoying our segments and what we bring to you. I'd like to also thank everybody out there in terms of coaches, student athletes, for their time that they devoted to us, allowing us into their world of high school football. We know we're pretty demanding in terms of just wanting a few moments. It might seem like we just want a few moments, but to the coaches and the student athletes, it's probably a lot more than that because they're busy. They got things to do. They have game plans to make. So we want to thank them for all that they've done for us. We really appreciate it. We couldn't.
Let me interject something here, Ronnie. These young men and coaches don't realize how lucky they are to have the Newcastle News and the dedicated staff, yourself, my dear friend Pete Sirianni, spending the time, Kayleen Cubble for years and years, and the effort to cover these young men. This doesn't happen in every county, but you guys do a tremendous job. You make these kids feel like they're in the NFL. And, I know how difficult it is and the late nights that it involves, because I was at one point sitting in your seat. So I want to congratulate you, and I want to thank you for what you guys do for Lawrence County sports.
Well, we appreciate it, Larry, and thanks for those kind words. And again, everybody, thank you for joining us all throughout the season. We'll probably check in with you at some point, maybe to talk about All-State. I'll be shocked if Luke McCoy is not All-State. I would think Chris Hood probably has a spot in All-State somewhere, I would hope. But Luke McCoy, if he's not All-State, then I don't know what All-State is, because Luke McCoy is an All-State football player, my friend. And we'll probably be talking about that. We've got our conference All-Stars going to be coming out in the coming days and weeks. So we'll have some fun with that, obviously. And then just maybe adjust the dial a little bit, because Larry Kelly goes from this to this with his basketball knowledge, and we'll be bringing you some hardwood fun here on our sister station, if you will, on Tip-Off. Right,
I can't wait, Ronnie. We're gonna have a great time this year.
All right, very good. That's all the time we have for you this season on Gridiron. He's Larry Kelly. I'm Ron Poniewasz. Again, thank you for joining us, and congratulations to all our teams out there for their success. We'll see you next season, everybody, at the end. And we'd like to thank the law firm of Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George also for sponsoring our show here, Gridiron 2021, and for Larry for joining us. Without their sponsorship, certainly we don't know what would be brought to the public. So again, we thank the sponsorship of Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George, and thank you, Larry, for that.
My pleasure, Ronnie. It's just an opportunity to give back to a community that's been really, really good to me.